A man walks into a room not knowing his life is about to end, not with bullets, with words. Jamie Dimon, the architect of the most powerful bank in the world, has just been betrayed by the only man he ever called a mentor. "We want you to resign," they told him. No explanations, no goodbyes, no warning, no thank you. Just free fall. This is the story of the man who was buried and came back to rule Wall Street. The son of the system. Jamie Dimon was born at the top of the world, grandson of Greek immigrants, son of bankers, educated at the best private schools in New York, vacations in France, an MBA at Harvard Business School, graduated summa cum laude, with money, with connections, with a last name that opened every door, but also with something no one expected: hunger. Hunger to prove he wasn't just another heir. Hunger for power. He was a shark, raised among lions, while his classmates dreamed of becoming partners. He dreamed of owning the game. At 22, he was correcting professors at Harvard. At 23, he was signing billion-dollar mergers. He didn't want an office with a view. He wanted the throne. And that hunger would lead him to make decisions that would change the financial world forever. The deal with the devil. Fresh out of Harvard, Jamie had offers from everywhere: Goldman Sachs, Morgan Stanley, Lehman Brothers. But he chose Sandy Weill, a banker with no filter, aggressive, a man who didn't just make deals, he devoured them. Together they bought a forgotten little company, Commercial Credit. Nobody paid attention, but inside, Sandy saw a platform, Jamie saw a training ground, and the world saw nothing yet. They started acquiring companies like chess pieces, Smith Barney, Primerica, Salomon Brothers, one by one, until they weren't just bankers anymore. They were architects of a new empire. In 1998, Citigroup was born, the largest bank on the planet. 100 million customers, 100 countries, $800 billion in assets. For a moment, Jamie Dimon was king, untouchable, unstoppable. The stab. 12 years building an empire, erased in one afternoon. Right after his greatest triumph came the knife. At an executive retreat in California without warning, Sandy Weill cut him out of the game. No shouting. Just one cold phrase: "We've made a decision." In 15 minutes, his career was over. Out of jealousy, out of fear, out of power. Whatever the reason, Jamie had been betrayed by the man who made him. The message was clear. There's no room for two kings in the same castle. The shadow of exile. For over a year, Jamie vanished. No interviews, no headlines. While others celebrated the dot-com bubble, he planned in silence. He rejected Amazon. He rejected Home Depot. He wanted to return to the battlefield, on his terms, with his rules. Until the call came. A Midwest bank. In trouble. Bank One. The fifth largest bank in the U.S., rotting from the inside. And they needed someone ruthless. Jamie accepted. But not just to save it. He would use it as his springboard. The rebuilding of a titan. Bank One was a corpse with a logo. Jamie turned it into a beast. He fired 12,000 employees. Restructured the entire incentive system, stripped away privileges, cut bonuses, dismantled bureaucracy, and brought in his own army. In 2 years, the stock jumped 60%. The message was clear. The banker was back. In 2004, JPMorgan Chase acquired Bank One, and with it, they acquired Jamie Dimon. 2 years later, he was named CEO, back at the top. This time, holding the knife himself, the warrior of the crisis. 2008. Wall Street is burning. Lehman Brothers collapses. Bear Stearns crumbles. Washington. Mutual implodes. The financial world teeters on the edge of disaster. While banks beg for bailouts, Jamie Dimon is ready. For years, he refused to dive into the mortgage bubble. He piled up cash, kept his balance sheet clean. And now he strikes. He buys Bear Stearns for $2 a share. He takes Washington Mutual for a fraction of its value, like a morning coffee. While others fled the fire, he used it to forge his crown. While others lost control, he consolidated power. JPMorgan Chase survived, grew, and became the largest bank in America. Citigroup, his old home, lay in ruins. The Exile had defeated the empire he helped create. The king's wound, but even kings bleed. In 2012, 4 years after conquering Wall Street, Jamie Dimon made a mistake, one that nearly cost him everything. A JPMorgan trader in London began making massive bets, synthetic derivatives, sky-high risk. They called him the London Whale. At first, Dimon dismissed the scandal. A tempest in a teapot, he said. But that storm swallowed over $6 billion. The bank's reputation staggered. Headlines no longer called him the brightest banker in the world. They spoke of cover-ups, negligence, power out of control. A king in the political arena. But Jamie didn't just know how to control banks. He knew how to control the system. While other CEOs trembled before Congress, Dimon played chess with senators. He appeared in multiple hearings, impeccable suit, measured tone, absolute command. He wasn't just defending his bank. He was defending the entire American banking model. His contacts in Washington grew. He began influencing reforms, regulations, and even Treasury decisions. Dimon wasn't just a banker. He was a political operator, an architect of the global economy from the shadows. The demonic system. After 2008, the system changed, but not for everyone. JPMorgan grew. While other banks were broken up or forced to sell assets, Dimon used every opportunity to consolidate power. In a single year, he added 2 million new customers, opened over 1,000 branches, and signed government deals to execute financial rescue programs. He became the backbone of the U.S. banking system, a kind of state bank, too big to fail, but also too big to ignore. One last battle. Over the years, Jamie became more than a CEO. He became a symbol. In 2020, at the height of COVID-19, as markets collapsed for a second time, Dimon once again stood at the center of the storm. He helped coordinate economic responses, advised the White House directly, and defended his bank as a pillar of global stability. But unlike 2008, this time he wasn't the hunter. He was the guardian, the last king of Wall Street. Today, Jamie Dimon remains CEO of JPMorgan Chase, still in command, one of the few who survived 2008, wealthy, feared, respected, the last true titan of Wall Street, and according to many, the most dangerous banker in the world. But for him, it was never about money. It was about legacy, leaving a mark that can't be erased. And in the end, his tombstone won't list numbers. It will say just one thing: I built it, betrayed, exiled, reborn as the king of Wall Street. This is not a story about banks. It's a story about power. And here at Drakonomic, we'll show you who really holds it. Subscribe or keep believing the official story.